thing whenever we go live.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. We should do that. I'll bring that next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to play a fun game?
Oh no.
Get
Hit
your
me.
vocals warmed up? Hector, pick a number between 1 and 154.
7.
All right. James, you pick a number between 1 and 154.
3.
Oh. James, pick a different number.
Okay. 18.
18. Okay, that works. Hector, I want you to read number 7. And James, you could read number 18.
Oh, what is this?
It's a little Shakespeare. It's a little warm up.
Oh, look at
Ooh,
that.
Get your
sonnets.
tongue untwisted. Go for it, Hector.
Lo in the Orient, when the gracious light lifts up his burning head, each under eye doth homage to his new appearing sight, serving with looks his sacred majesty, and having climbed down the step-up heavenly hill, resembling strong youth in his middle age, yet mortal looks adore his beauty still. Attending on his golden pilgrimage, but when from highmost pitch, with weary ear like feeble age, he relieth from the day, the eyes, for duteous, now converted, are from his low tract, and look another way. So thou thyself ongoing in thy noon outlook on deist, unless thou get a son.
Yay.
Good warm up.
James.
Did you figure out the camera, John? John forgot to plug in the camera, everybody.
Ah.
He is doing so now.
Oh, do you need to be on camera for this, James?
No, I don't. I was just making fun of you. Or was it really just an excuse to drink more tequila? I can go ahead and go, though.
Do it while your cat twerks.
Oh, God.
Olivier could clear off so much fucking tequila while he was doing Shakespeare.
Still right here.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
Oh, that's
Thou
cheating.
art more
Hey, he
lovely
picked
and
it, man.
more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot in the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou own'st. Nor shall death brag thou wandered in his shade. So when in eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this and gives life to thee.
Nice. Thank you for playing with me.
It's a good game. I like it.
Yeah. All right.
It was cheating that I got that one.
I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna say I have that shit memorized, but I've probably heard it about 100 million.
At least you know the intention behind it, which always helps.
Oh,
It does.
absolutely.
Ma'am, can we do a show, please?
She's like, nah.
She's like, absolutely not. All right, let's do a show. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
She said go for it.
You
Jesus.
just go already.
Welcome, everyone, to Good Night and Good Game, your source for geek news for the weeks that were. I'm your host, James, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Hector,
Meow.
and our fantastic producer, John.
It's me.
This week on the show, we are going to get into a ton of Microsoft news, some great horror stuff, and on top of all of it, we're going to take a deeper dive into this whole physical media issue thanks to Sony.
Thank you, Sony.
Before we start, don't forget that you can head over to patreon.com/GNGGcast, where as a patron of our show, you can suggest topics for us to talk about. Also, as a patron, you get access to our off-week episodes. We are now in Season 2, almost at the end of Season 2, of our Tales from the Crypt watch and recap. It's only $1 to join our Patreon. Also, pick yourself up a Shudder subscription. It's super cheap. And then donate $1 to us, and then watch along with us, episode by episode. If you're not able to join our Patreon, you can always help us by liking or sharing our episodes, or just letting somebody know about our little podcast would mean the world to us.
Take 2 minutes, write a little review, thank you on your podcast streaming service of choice, and then tell 2 friends.
Yeah.
2 and 2.
It's good stuff.
All right, with all that out of the way, it's time to get into the weekly raid.
The weekly raid.
All right, everybody, it's time for the weekly raid, your roundup of recent geek news. Our starting items, couple of items this week, have something in common, and that is that Hollywood has taken notice of how well the Backrooms film did and is looking for the next online horror sensation to make into film. First up, Steven Spielberg and the studio Amblin Entertainment are going to be turning the YouTube series Mandela Catalog into a feature film. Quote, launched in 2021, the YouTube series is set in the fictional Mandela County, Wisconsin, which is invaded by shape-shifting, nearly immortal creatures called alternates. The alternates are led by a false depiction of the Archangel Gabriel, and their aim is to wipe out the human race by psychologically torturing them to the point of suicide. The alternates are known for manipulating AV media, TV computers, and GPS systems. According to Bloody Disgusting, the Mandela Catalog on YouTube has over 100 million views across all of its episodes. The director and creator of the series, Alex Kisher, will be directing the feature film as well, just like what happened with the Backrooms movie.
Yeah, I mean, we're in classic Hollywood, right? Like, we're going right back to the well to see if there's more. There wasn't any more Blair Witch when they did it, but anytime anyone is successful for not a lot of money to make lots and lots of money, you know, we jump in and we go, is there more of this? Can we have more? Is there more good? I mean, think about how many times we've made video game movies when they just kept failing.
And in
Right.
fairness to Blair Witch, though, I never thought I would say that ever, but in fairness to Blair Witch, not only was it a unique idea that caught people by surprise, but it was a whole unique approach to making the film itself.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I'm glad
I mean, it wasn't original, but
Well-
it was unique.
for the 10 people who got the VHS copy of what was it? Damn it.
Are you talking about Cannibal Holocaust?
No,
Because it definitely dates back to Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, you think so?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
the found
okay.
footage thing?
yeah, found footage dates way back. It was just Blair Witch was the first one that popularized it.
Right.
Okay.
And
Well,
they didn't even really try to. Again, they made that movie for like $9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just doing a thing,
no.
and it just turned out like that shit was popular. Right place, right time. Which I think the Backrooms has always been an interesting concept. It had zeitgeist, it had build to it. And so, like, when the movie came out, some people were like, oh, yeah, I grew up watching that shit on YouTube. So it's creepypasta. Let's go see the movie. Makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. I don't know how much more of that exists, but, I mean, we can keep going to that well and see
Right.
what we make. And it'll make money until it doesn't. So I'm not like against or offended them trying to find more. It's probably a good thing. You know, we love the idea of safety with monetary safety when we make these types of projects. So yeah, I mean, who knows? We might get some more really cool stuff out of it.
All right, next up, the fantastic found footage horror series VHS is looking for their next lineup, their next installment. And so they have turned to the internet, just like we've been talking about. The next installment of the VHS series is going to be VHS SCP. This is going to take a second. So if you are not familiar with this, what is the SCP Foundation and why are there so many indie games about it? So SCP stands for Special Containment Procedures. Quote, the SCP Foundation began in 2008 as a collaborative digital project and has since grown into one of the largest fan-driven horror and sci-fi universes online. VHS SCP will be framed as recovered field documentation or video evidence gathered, redacted, and archived by the secretive organization. Standalone segments in the anthology will focus on different objects, entities, or events under the containment breach narrative, end quote. So basically just think of SCP as a website where people can post their own horror fiction to contribute to part of a larger online universe.
I like that a lot. It seems like a really cool idea, almost like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Hit Record. Like people just kind of contribute their own stuff into a space where you can like find other people and be like, hey, like our stuff is kind of the same. Maybe we should collaborate.
So the way that it works is like if you were going to the SCP Foundation website, which again has been around since like 2008, you would basically just look to see what like the newest number is. So let's pretend it's 5,000.
Okay.
SCP 5,000. You're going to write SCP 5,000, and your story is going to basically be I don't know. Let's just say House of Leaves.
Sure.
And you write that short story, and then you submit it, and it goes on the website, and that is officially SCP 5000.
Okay.
And that's how the whole process works, basically. But yeah, VHS, one of the best found footage horror series to ever exist. They barely have like hiccups in their series. Like, and I'm somebody who doesn't even watch a ton of found footage horror, and I will watch a VHS fucking movie every single year because they literally come out on Halloween every year. So yeah, I'm excited about it. It's again, this is one of those things where I hope that if they're using ideas from the website that the proper people are being credited, but I assume that they would because they're a pretty stand-up organization.
Yeah, no, you know, as rights shenanigans aside, yeah, I think like it's a really good idea. This is a kind of well that you would want to go to instead of
Bottomless well.
Yeah, instead of scrolling through YouTube looking for something with millions of views and getting a lot of recipes. You can go to a place where people are literally writing movies for you for free.
By the way, if you're into this idea of horror creators creating horror movies or horror television shows based on things that exist online currently, like the SCP Foundation or that previous YouTube series, I have such a recommendation for you. If you have never seen it, you should be watching Channel Zero. I believe it's on Shudder, actually. It's like 4 seasons. They're all based on creepypastas that have been on the internet, tale as old as time. Channel Zero is by far one of my favorite horror shows to ever exist. And of the 4 seasons that they did, if you had to ask me to pick what the weakest one is, I don't think I could, because every single one of them was absolutely rock solid, and like I had such a blast watching every single one of them. Each season was different because it was a horror anthology. So, all right, what else we got to talk about? We've got some more horror stuff to talk about. Let's move on from the world of online to something a bit more old school. After 16 years, we are getting a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Details are under wraps for now, but we know that Paramount has licensed the rights to Freddy from the Wes Craven estate.
As soon as James told me this was in the news, I kind of looked at him and was like, 16 years ago. I feel like that came out much more recently.
Damn.
That being said, I don't remember a thing about the last remake of this franchise, like a single thing. And for me, that's a mark of whatever the opposite of quality is. Even a very bad movie can leave an impression. This movie left me nothing. So I really hope we get something new and something that actually, does service to what I loved about.
I don't know,
Nightmare
man.
on Elm Street.
Robert Englund's still alive. We might be. I'm just saying we could get one more out of him, right?
Maybe, man. Like he's probably like crutches old. Though.
No, but I mean
Like,
he's about to do the Rise of Leslie Vernon sequel.
oh, that's
Oh.
true. But is he in a wheelchair in it?
I
like
mean-
I don't know. Like
He's a healthy man.
I hope he's a healthy man. I think he's getting up there. Robert Englund, I'm so sorry if you're like 10 years older than me, but I think you're a little older.
Son
than
of a
that,
bitch.
right?
Just
But look, like you could obviously get him back and things would be great as long as you had the right cast and the right like effects. And the thing about writing a Freddy Krueger movie is you have to know what you're getting into. If there's anything I remember about the remake that came out 16 years ago, is that it took itself far too seriously. When these movies are supposed to be very tongue-in-cheek. That's why the gory kills are so far over the top. If you're going to do something like that, you got to have camp. You got to have a camp tone. You got to have some camp going on. Film it at a
But you
summer
got to
camp if you have to.
understand the characters because each character dies in a very specific way related to who they are.
Yeah, and if you don't establish that with a character,
Yeah.
you're just looking at some bullshit.
Freaks and weirdos, that's what we got to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely, completely agree. All right. Well, if you didn't know, the super popular anime streaming site called Crunchyroll is actually owned by Sony.
Oh.
And one of the big things that people loved about Crunchyroll is that it had an online store where you could purchase physical copies of anime, some of which were not available on streaming platforms. If you have been following our show at all, I'm pretty sure you know what I'm about to say next. Much of Crunchyroll's online store is about to go away as it will begin to remove physical discs from their website.
Yeah. We're not in the business of printing discs anymore. You know what? Crunchyroll for a long time kind of did to anime what Xbox Game Pass did to video games, and that's basically lower its value to almost nothing. So what we've seen as the cause to be caused by Crunchyroll, as much as we're seeing it lately with streaming services, is piracy is on its way back. It's coming back in a big way for people who want to like have old series that they know they can't get physically anymore, or just download the new stuff. It's right there. It's a few clicks away. You can get it. You know, you might need to end up on the dark web, but even if you get there. You know, it's easy. So, yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all, and we're going to see more and more of this as it comes down the line. But
Even
Boy,
from us, we're going to talk about it in the boss
yeah,
room.
we're going
Yeah,
to talk
we're gonna
about
talk
this a
about
lot in the boss room, so I don't want to wear you out too much about
Spoilers for the boss room.
it. Yeah, only to say that no one deserves piracy more than Crunchyroll.
All right. Now, let's head over to game news. So let's talk about GDQ, or Games Done Quick. It is the biggest speedrunning charity online, basically.
Woo.
And first up in the news, SGDQ, or Summer Games Done Quick, just wrapped up. I spent all week watching it 24/7. I fell
yeah.
asleep to it. I woke up to it. And they managed to raise over $2.4 million for Doctors Without Borders, bringing their lifetime total of money raised for that charity to over $60 million.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was a good GDQ.
It was a really good GDQ. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had some amazing runs this year. You know, we ended with Claire Obscure, you know, a favorite of ours here on the show. You know, they started really strong. They had some amazing Kaizo runs. We had a fully tool-assisted speed run of 120 stars in Mario 64.
Right.
That
Damn.
was bazonkers
Yeah.
to watch. How fast can a computer beat
Yeah.
Mario 64? Turns out very, very fast.
Yeah, turned out very, very fast. And it was
Yeah.
pretty cool to see. I was actually trying to finish Resident Evil 9 during the Resident Evil 9 speed run, trying to beat the game before they got to the ending so they wouldn't spoil the ending for me.
Classic GDQ stuff.
It was
Loved
so much fun. It was silly. It was fun.
Yeah.
Definitely look up the SGDQ's
I've
videos
said
on
this
YouTube.
before for any of our video watchers out there who, if you're not just listening to us, every shirt I wear on this show is a GDQ shirt. They have a partnership with the Yeti, so every GDQ you get unique art on a series of about 15 different T-shirts, and I snag a few for myself and some of my friends. Just about every GDQ event, so about twice a year. I suggest you do the same.
Yeah, it all
it's
goes to charity.
Yeah, and it's how I donate. You know, it's good stuff.
Yep. All right. So GDQ's next, much smaller event that they were going to be doing after Summer Games Done Quick was actually going to be a sponsored stream with the Japanese game studio SNK, who's very famous for a ton of fighting games. But that was just canceled. And the reason this event was canceled is it was they found out that SNK is majority owned by a subsidiary of the MISC Foundation, who is owned by the Saudi Crown Prince. So I'm just going to give you a quote from GameDeveloper.com. Amnesty International has also accused the prince of transforming Saudi Arabia into a kingdom of repression and engaging in various culture washing tactics, potentially including the acquisition of electronic arts to distract from ongoing human rights abuses. The quote from GDQ directly was, "We will not accept funds from this sponsorship or continue to work with this sponsor ever again. GDQ is committed to supporting human rights and inclusivity, and we recognize that this partnership conflicted with those values."
Yeah, and all I have to say about that is, see how easy that is. It's so easy. Now everyone do Israel.
But the money, Bill Burr's money.
Yeah.
How
yeah,
is Bill
no.
Burr gonna pay for more things that he wants?
You can just keep doing Netflix specials, man. They were great. They were fine. You know,
Oh.
just keep doing that. Just whatever you do, don't go to the comedy mothership. That's
You
somehow
don't
worse
even
than
care
Saudi
about Bill
Arabia.
Burr.
I love Bill Burr as a comedian. I think he's fucking hilarious. But yeah, like honestly, it's real easy not to take money from foreign governments who have a history of human rights abuses. And I say this to everyone from inside the United States.
Yeah.
If you can, don't give us money.
It's definitely something we'll have to go into at some point as a much broader topic on the show at some point, which is the Saudi Arabian influence into the video game sphere and what that means. But I need time to prep that episode because it's a very heavy thing. Because the Saudi Arabian government, because they've been buying into so many video game studios, it isn't just things like, oh, they're going to buy EA. It's things like they bought EVO, the largest fighting game tournament in the world. And what does that mean for the players that go to EVO, even though they don't know that the tournament that they're going to is being essentially sponsored by the Saudi Arabian government? How do you say no to the biggest fighting tournament in the world, right?
Yeah, there is no ethical consumption or even participation, it turns out. And then that's, you choose your own level of engagement as you go, like everyone else. No shame to anybody for winning Evo or anything like that. It's just, it's a situation, and sometimes you have to draw a line, and it's nice to watch good people draw good lines. I thought this was one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to the last part of the news for the week, and that is going to be a Microsoft News Roundup. Strap in and strap on. This is going to be 3 interesting news items. First off, Microsoft has laid off 379 employees of the Elder Scrolls Online developer ZeniMax between 2 different offices. It is important to note that in 2024, 461 employees at those very offices voted to unionize. This is part of the 3,200 jobs that Microsoft stated that they would be cutting recently. So let's start there.
Okay, so just so everyone knows, this was pointed out by Jason Schreier earlier, that so far we've had about 1,600 layoffs out of that 3,200. The other 1,600 will happen at some point to someone at any time between now and fiscal year 2027.
So that means everybody's just trying really hard at work now, right?
No, it doesn't matter how hard you try. If there's anything,
They're extra
any
excited
developer-
because any day could be your last.
Any developer has learned that, like, you make a bad game, yeah, your studio gets closed and you get canned. You make an amazing award-winning game, and your studio gets closed and you get canned. It doesn't matter how hard you work.
Straight to jail.
But straight to jail. You're a developer, straight to jail. You do artwork or code, straight to jail. So here's
You make the company millions of dollars.
Straight to jail.
Funny
Believe it
enough,
or not,
straight to jail.
jail. There are 1,600 people with a sword of Damocles hanging over their head that they will not know.
Isn't their breakfast going to be
when
the
it
best tasting breakfast
falls.
every morning?
See, that's when he doesn't pull the trigger. Microsoft is out here pulling triggers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's that. Speaking of, like ZeniMax has delivered such good content for Microsoft over the last 10 years.
The fact that Elder Scrolls Online is such a widely popular game that it is still to this day at the forefront of Microsoft showcases. Like, they literally will put that, like, they'll save the announcement of the new MMO trailer for the very end.
Yep.
And they'll be like, all right, here's the new expansion, because they use the from what I understand, Elder Scrolls Online uses the Guild Wars method, where you do not pay a subscription.
Yeah,
it is just buy the
game and then expansions come out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is why there's 5 million expansions for it.
Yep.
Let's move on from there. But I do want to touch back on that point, though, that remember, of the 379 employees that were laid off, there was at least 461 employees that voted to unionize. How many of those cross over?
Oh, all of them. Everyone who voted to unionize is gone. I guarantee you that right fucking now.
Keep that in mind, because we're going to come back to that. The new Xbox CEO, Asha Sharma, sent out an employee memo in the face of all of these layoffs, and I have a couple quotes from it. So let's just dive into these quotes. A healthy Xbox could weather the shock of the hardware crisis. With an unhealthy Xbox, it becomes really challenging and it accelerates a lot of the changes that we need to make, Sharma said. It is neither possible nor desirable to own every great independent studio.
Preach.
We have also learned that we are not the best home for every type of studio. In a typical year, we lost 64 cents for every dollar that we invested. As we reset Xbox, we will help independent creators succeed by providing open development tools and audiences to realize their vision.
Yeah, those are some rough fucking numbers, and I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck Phil was smoking, deciding to buy everything for all
Yeah,
the money.
we have to remember that the Sharma just came in like 2 months ago.
Yeah. Asha Sharma, like believe it or not, she's literally trying to right the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's absolutely right. This bullshit was completely unsustainable. What we had is we had some very low interest during the the years when the country was run by Democrats. And people, it was so cheap to borrow money, sometimes even free to borrow money. You buy anything you wanted. Let's buy Activision Blizzard for fucking $80 billion or whatever the fuck it was.
Mm-hmm.
Let's buy every studio under the sun. Let's make sure we own them all so that anything they make, we get a cut from. It should be easy to manage all of these studios, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's buy Bethesda. It should be easy to manage a studio that hasn't made a good game. Fucking, I don't know, ever?
a long time.
Like, Jesus, God. Like, what
People
are you
seem to really like the Skyrim game.
Yeah. Skyrim is the last time. Someone quick, tell me when Skyrim came out. Good Lord.
It's like 2012, wasn't
I
it?
think it was like 2008 or
Good
something.
God.
I don't even know. But yeah,
Maybe the first remake was in 2012.
Yeah, I'm not 1,000% sure, but yeah, let's buy that studio. I bet you if we walk in and say, "Hey guys, please do a better job," they will, right? No. Yeah, this CEO is. I'm not going to say she's doing the Lord's work, and she is laying off a lot of people.
She is the CEO.
She is a CEO, as she is paid hundreds of millions of dollars, most likely. But she's absolutely right. Xbox should know all these studios, and they shouldn't shut them down. They should just give them their independence and let them like wander off, and then maybe make partnerships with them if they can keep themselves afloat. That would be the good thing to do. I'm not sure that's going to happen in every case.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even saying she's doing everything right, but this had to happen.
But this is one of the reasons that all these layoffs are happening.
Yeah.
This is all the repercussions of all of this.
Yeah, and like, don't get me started on like has to happen because like, Microsoft as a company makes more money from Azure than they do from video games.
Mm-hmm.
It is a drop in the bucket, and the more they invest, the more they lose because they don't know how video games work or why they work. They just kind of want to own everyone who's ever made a good one and then pressure them into making another good one when that's not how any of this shit works. Here's my favorite Asha Sharma thing. And some of this is just headcanon from me, but I don't know what was going on with Bethesda and Todd Howard when Phil Spencer bought Bethesda, but he probably walked in and said, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And Todd was like, "Oh great, yeah, things are going good." He's like, "Okay, cool." And then he fucked back off to Microsoft, and Todd wiped the sweat from his brow and went back to his office and did absolutely nothing for another 7 years.
Yep.
Remember, we have 2 seasons of a Fallout TV show that is very, very popular, and 0 projects on the horizon for Fallout until just very, very recently. The only place you could go for any kind of Fallout content that came out in the last 10 years is Fallout 76, a game that is widely derided even by its own fans. So Asha Sharma walks in, and she goes, "Hey, Todd, what's going on? What you working on?" And they're like, "Well,
The smoothie?
not too bad. You want some coffee?" And she, walks over and says, "Well, you got this Fallout thing. How you doing with that?" Well, we're not really doing anything with it. Oh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take that from you. And I'm going to walk over here.
To Obsidian.
And I'm going to give it to Obsidian.
Who said that they never wanted to make another Fallout game ever again.
Yep, and you can, Todd, you can go back to your office and continue to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but Bethesda basically lost everything, and they deserve it. I don't know what they'll work on next. Maybe the Elder Scrolls, which is likely to come out, I don't know, 2030 maybe, if we're very lucky. So yeah. Again, I don't want to blow any at all smoke up her ass, but she is doing the hard part right now. It's not as hard for her as it is for the people who can't eat tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not. And this is a horrible thing to have to happen. In fact, we're going to talk about how in some cases it's quite illegal. But yet Xbox, it was this or Xbox dies as a brand. Basically, Microsoft just cuts off the cancerous leg and moves on.
Yep. All right. So moving on from there, let's get to our last little bit of Xbox news that Hector already hinted at. And that is that the Communication Workers of America and Canada unions have filed an unfair labor practice charge against Microsoft with how they handled their recent round of layoffs. Quote, the unions CWA and CWA Canada have jointly filed unfair labor practice complaints against Microsoft, alleging the company has unlawfully fired people without giving notice to or discussing it with the union, as the employer is legally obligated to do so when we are in the middle of an ongoing bargaining as a collective agreement. We also announced today that our lawyers in the USA and Canada find these layoffs to be illegal and therefore filing unfair labor practice actions against Microsoft on both sides of the border. We are ready to do everything we can to get our members back to work on the games that we love.
I think that last part really lays out the kind of fantasy of all of this. The thing that makes union strong is that everyone is in one. I don't know what ramifications the Canadian government yet has for Microsoft, but I know that if Microsoft doesn't want to make a game, that they won't make one. So the idea of these people getting their jobs back and going right back to work on a game they love is fantasy. Makes no sense whatsoever. The fine should be that without doing anything, Microsoft should have to pay these people their salary for the next 10 years. That's what should have to happen. And you know what? That might still be cheaper than making whatever game they were working on. And so that should be the standard they're held to. The idea of these people getting their jobs back doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The idea, if the entire Canadian government was like, we're no longer doing business with Xbox, Xbox would be like, cool, whatever. Like, frankly, still cost you less money than to make another $200 million video game that won't sell 10 copies. Or that goes directly to Xbox Game Pass for $20 a month and no one engages with it. It's just, yeah, it's rough how we have to present these things as if we're going to get justice. Justice for these people is pay them their goddamn money.
Yeah.
And if you wrong them in this way, pay them their money without their labor. You don't get it. You don't deserve it anymore. Let them live their lives in the way that you promised them when you hired them on under their union contract, whether or not they have any output whatsoever for you. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. So I'm interested to see what comes of this, but I hope every one of those employees ends up with some kind of money. But other than that, I mean, we need better protections for workers, even than something like this. And I know they're in a union, and I know they did the things right, and they're going through all the right steps. But fighting Microsoft with a Canadian union, just it feels like an infant trying to fight Mike Tyson. I don't know.
All right.
Sorry, that was kind of a bummer.
It's all right. That's what happens in the news, though. All right, that's everything we have for the news this week. But stick with us as we get into our main topic in the boss room.
Pause.
Cool. Okay.
All right, rolling again.
All right, get us off.
Boss room.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It's the boss room, our main topic, sometimes related to the news, sometimes not. It is a place where we can talk about things like this week's topic, media preservation. So, last episode, the very long episode that we posted, we talked a bit about Sony announcing the end of physical discs moving forward for PlayStation. This last week, in response, GOG.com encouraged people who have bought games from their service to feel free to download those games and make their own physical copies. So I said last week that I really wanted to talk a little bit more about this subject, but it was not our boss room because we had a guest on other things to talk about. So I want to talk a little bit about the loss of physical media. What can we do? What can be done about it? Also, if we're willing to like talk about both sides of the issue, because I have a couple of takes here that may not fit with everybody else, but let's go ahead and let y'all kick it off. Let's talk about this whole media preservation and what it means going forward.
So I think John and I can agree, and John, please step in the second you disagree.
Copy that.
That the loss of physical media happened a very long time ago.
Yes.
And I don't.
Particularly with video games.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, like, when was the last time you bought a CD? But like that you meant to put into a player and listen
Yeah.
to. When was the last time you burned a CD or DVD in order to preserve it and keep it, or to do something like that?
Well, DVD, again,
Yeah.
movies are a whole different thing for me, but that's because I'm a weirdo.
Sure.
When I moved from my second apartment here in Austin, I was doing a big purge of stuff. And one of the things that I did was I had all of these CD cases full of CDs.
Yeah.
And I basically pulled them out and either started ripping them or writing down what the various tracks were so that I could come back to them at some point. And there was a handful of CDs that I still kept because I had an emotional attachment to them. But for the most part, I was like just ripping. I think at one point I was even just ripping them onto like an Xbox or something.
Yeah.
And just like
right.
ripping the music like onto it. So I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's got a digital version now. We're good.
Yeah. So as far as physical media goes, not having your game on a disc just anymore just straight up makes me laugh. I haven't played a game without a day one patch in probably a decade.
Do you have a CD-ROM in your computer?
No.
Yeah.
Wait. Yes, but it is not plugged in. It is, I've had my case so long that it has had new motherboards, new processors, new video. It is a ship of Theseus in there, and there is still a Blu-ray drive in it, but it is not plugged in.
I think I own an external disk drive. And I mean disk, and I mean like a 3.5.
Yeah.
I own one of those.
Huh.
But that's specifically because I work in IT, and there's always a weird situation why those can come in handy.
Oh yeah. So, sometimes it's like, oh, I have a piece of software somewhere here, do something with this, and an old man hands you something from his past, and you're
Right.
like, wait, I can do this.
Yep.
I can get this.
Yep.
And just to be a pedant on one small point, with movies and music, sure, I don't listen to CDs, and if I wasn't a weirdo, I would probably never open a Blu-ray or DVD. But if I
smell
had
so good.
to, like if I had to go get a Blu-ray, or if I had to watch a movie or listen to a music through those mechanisms, they would work.
It's true.
They would work every time.
Well, I'm
Well.
I'm about to really fuck that up.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah. So here's the thing, because what we're talking about when we're talking about games preservation, we're really talking about our own libraries. We're talking about, for me, because we're afraid someone out there is going to do a capitalism and just take the rights that we have, the temporary rights we have to these licenses that they have loaned us, and just erase them all.
Yeah, they will.
Good case in point. A man recently got made public for his Xbox account was compromised, and he went very public when Xbox's response to him over all of this time was, hey, the account was compromised in such a way that, according to our policy, it is unrecoverable. Sorry. And he has said thousands, maybe tens of thousands of euros in games decades of Xbox account, his children's baby pictures, all of this, stuff in his OneDrive, all of it, just gone. And it was Microsoft's policy to make it gone. Simply because it was breached for whatever reason in whatever way. It was Microsoft's decision, not the people who broke into his account to try and use his credit card or whatever. It was Microsoft who decided to eliminate it. Not only that, but the email they sent him also said, "Hey, just in case you had Minecraft, you're gonna need to buy that again."
Okay, so where does that come around to the point of I can put a DVD in and play it?
Because when we talk about preservation, we're not actually talking about preservation. The Mona Lisa is about 530 some odd years old. That takes fucking science. When we really want to talk about preservation, if we want to preserve these things for hundreds of years, do you know the lifespan of a Blu-ray/DVD?
20 to 30 years.
20 to 30 years given ideal conditions and minimal use.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not preservation.
Are you making the entropy argument, because that goes entropy? That goes.
I'm not trying to extrapolate into infinity. I'm talking like 2 generations from now. It's not really preservation. If we want preservation, we need laws about institutions that are allowed to keep these things and spend the
We
resources
do
to
need
preserve them.
better It's not. I agree. It's not about the
We need
disc.
that.
It's about the DRM.
Yeah, it's about having the thing and being allowed to use it for public display, for public consumption, however you want to do that. We need that. That is game preservation. Us buying a copy of Grand Theft Auto 6 on a disc is not games preservation.
Yeah, no.
And we need to be very, very clear about those things.
And that was the point that I was going to eventually get around to, is that I think that we are conflating the idea of discs going away with games preservation. And while those two things are not linked together, they're also not linked together, if that's a weird way of putting it.
Right.
Like losing physical discs. Let's talk about Rule of Rose for a second, all right?
Sure.
Rule of Rose is a game that I've always wanted to own, and I never got around to buying it while it was on the PS2. It was a game that nobody bought, and it is a game that is very highly controversial for the content inside of the game itself. It was a game that I didn't know about until after the fact, and once I learned about it, I was like, "Oh my god, I want to play this game." Also, it's going to cost me like $600 on eBay to get a fucking copy of this game because of the content of the game and how few people bought it. That's one of the things that people don't understand about collecting. Not to side tangent, but I'm going to side tangent. A lot of people think collecting is about like getting this big historic moment in time and then like reselling it later. When it comes to collecting things like, we'll talk about comic books for a second. When the entire Marvel Civil War comic book line was coming out, the most valuable comic that you could own from the Civil War line is not the Iron Man issue, the one when Captain America gets shot, the one where the X-Men tell the fucking Avengers to go fuck themselves. It's She-Hulk #1 because nobody bought She-Hulk #1, and then all those copies got destroyed, so there's like 10 copies in the world right now.
Right.
So to bring this all back to Rule of Rose is rare because nobody bought it, and then all those discs got like tossed. And now we have to deal with the fact that PS2 emulation isn't as great as it could be. And specifically, PS2 is getting there, but I play games like Saturn and Dreamcast. Those have much more difficult emulation.
Yeah.
I mean, they still haven't
it's-
really cracked N64.
Well, let's talk about PS3 for a second.
Oh yeah, PS3
PS3 architecture,
has been super tough too.
Yeah, the PS3 architecture is just, there's a reason why so few games came out for it. Because it was notoriously
Cell
difficult.
processor,
Yeah,
bro.
it's notoriously difficult to program for, and then trying to emulate that afterwards is that problem. So, to what we were saying to this point, when we are talking about preservation of any kind of media, we are not making the argument that we should always have physical discs, unless one of you guys want to have that argument, but I don't want to have that argument.
I
Because
ripped my discs.
in my opinion, in my cyberpunk. I've always been a bit of a cyberpunk. I've always been into transhumanism as a concept. I read Neuromancer at a young age, and it really fucking changed my life. And I believe that we were always headed towards a digital future.
Oh yeah, it was always going this way.
When we talk about preservation, though, we are saying that the people need to have access to the thing, and right now, people do not have access to the thing.
Yeah, I can make another example, a very popular example. If you bought on a PlayStation Black Disc on the day it came out, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, it is very, very likely that that disc no longer works.
But worth like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. Well, depending on its condition. Imagine what its condition could be right now.
The one in my closet is good.
Yeah. Even still, if you had never opened it, it may still like barely work when it comes out.
Right.
We are nearing the 30-year mark on that bad boy right now. Wait. Yeah. We are absolutely hitting that 30-year mark very, very soon. And that's a CD. That's not a Blu-ray. That's not a DVD. Yep. It's very, very old stuff. However, if you wanted to play Castlevania Symphony of the Night, there are about 50 ways you can do it right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That is preservation. And yeah, it's for sale, and it should cost less, or it should be free in a library. I can have that conversation all fucking day, and I agree. It should be in a museum. But the disc didn't help.
Yep.
Didn't help.
We have a great comment from Chad actually saying that people pirating emulators and ROMs are really just cultural historians.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You can
I can see that.
definitely look at
In
that.
a way, I
look
mean,
at
the
that
only,
way.
I think one of the points that I don't know if we've said out loud is the only preservation is there a fancy word that rhymes with preservation that means multiply, like just numerosity?
Proliferation.
Yeah.
There you go.
There is no preservation without proliferation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just got to spread. That's why George Lucas will never be able to get rid of the Star Wars special because everybody shared it.
Yeah. I mean, think about that. That was a thing that was so rare that it was traded secretly at
Streisand
conventions.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone wants it because no one can get it. And all of a sudden it's more popular than the thing that, they wanted to show people.
Right. It's insane, like, what that's like. And so, yes, you are right. Like, that proliferation is actually what drives this. And so when we are having this discussion, and I know that I titled this episode The Whole Physical Media Thing. And that was for a very specific reason, because I wanted to get into this topic of media preservation. And I didn't want to insult my friends who very specifically believe in owning physical media is the way to keep things alive.
Also,
But I needed to have that talk that when we talk about media preservation, it doesn't always mean having a physical disc. Like, it's cute that GOG said, hey, you can download our games and put it onto a CD. Love that.
Yeah, because everyone with their CD burners is just itching to, drop that EXE you let us download onto a disc. Great. You know what? That is nice of you.
You know what media preservation really is, GOG, now that you're bringing up, like, your little funny way of doing it? And again, I applaud them for making the joke. But,
very much so.
But preservation is what GOG.com is doing right now, which is pick a game. Let's take Diablo 1, a game that just did not work on modern systems, that had an expansion that was approved by Blizzard at the time, but was still considered an unauthorized expansion and was never re-released after the very first time it was released. And GOG went out of their way to take that game and get the rights to that game and that expansion from Blizzard, then rewrap them through a DOSBox emulator and get those games out so that people can play them.
Yeah, honestly, GOG is doing the closest thing you can to actual preservation, because they are proliferating their product. Because when they sell you a game, you get a license to be able to download that game, but also you just download the EXE for the game, all ready, all sitting there, because most of the games they're selling you are old enough and small enough that you can just have it on your hard drive forever, and it'll never be a problem. And you can burn it. You can burn it to whatever you want. You can trade it to your friends.
Yeah.
You can email it to your friend if they let you email an exe. And you know that is the thing.
So when we talk about media preservation and we talk about different platforms, and I'm going to leave Steam out of the equation for a second, I'm going to bring up two different variables here. I'm going to talk about Sony, and I want to talk about GOG. And so when you talk about Sony, what we're talking about is the fact that Sony's even kind of said that after so many console generations, like our game, I mean, we just talked about it last week, like the Vita store is going down,
Yeah.
the PS3 store is going down, but you still will be able to download those games for a time, right? But basically Sony is coming out and saying like, look, after some point we got to shut these servers off, and that's our way of saving money, and we don't give a fuck because we want to rewrap these things in a different package and resell them to you. GOG has essentially said, hey, we want to give you this license in perpetuity, and that you bought it and it's yours. And yes, it's a digital license, but fucking give it to your friends. Like, have them log into your account, download the game. We don't fucking give a fuck. You bought it from us once.
Even if GOG goes away tomorrow, if you downloaded your EXE, you can still play that game forever.
Yeah, I guarantee you that if GOG went down tomorrow, or said that they were going to be going down tomorrow, at least one person out there would be like, all right, cool, I'm going to buy the entire GOG catalog right now. I'm going to have people toss money into it, and I'm going to download the whole thing, and then I'm going to put up a preservation site for it.
Yep, just here's a public library of everything.
And if you
GOG
don't
has.
believe that, there is somebody who bought the entire 3DS digital library before the 3DS went down, and then contributed that specific account. They gave that account to the Video Game Historical Society that's in Fresno, Texas, and said, here is a 3DS with an account that, because Nintendo said you will always be able to download these games that were owned on the 3DS store, I bought all of them. Now you can put that in your museum.
Yeah, no. Anyone who doesn't believe that that's a thing has never heard of what.cd.
Yeah, I mean, as much as the guy is crazy and a misinformation, demon in my mind, Tom DeLonge's website, To the Stars or whatever, when I bought the high definition version of their movie Love from 2012 or whatever, they let me just download it. I gave them money, and they gave me a file with all the other, behind the scenes files.
Yeah.
I didn't have to rip anything. There wasn't like some license, some login or whatever. And yeah.
Yeah, it's a great experience. When I bought In Rainbows off of the Radiohead website, when it came out, I gave them money and they let me download a zip file.
Yeah.
With the lossless audio FLACs sitting right there next to a bunch of MP3s that most systems could actually read.
So I think the big thing about this whole discussion is we start to wind down is that, and I know that I've touched on this a couple of times, is that the death of physical media doesn't mean the death of preservation and of art. But it does mean that we need to start turning an eye towards what does the word preservation mean going forward. Because you have a company like Sony who has said, yes, we're getting rid of physical disc. And it's really easy for everybody to jump on the house is on fire because physical discs are going away train. But what people aren't thinking about is the times that Sony said that same week, hey, the Vita store is going away. You're going to be able to download what you can download for a while, but eventually that'll go away too. One of the reasons I think about this so much is I own a PS4 that has PT on it. And I got done watching this amazing YouTube video yesterday. I was going to put it in after this in the epilogue, but in there he talks about all of the different versions of PT that have been tried to be made since the version that came out. All of the fan recreations, everybody trying to salvage this thing, because eventually, unless you have a PS4 like mine that has it on it, that's the only way to play it.
Yep.
And when we talk about preservation, this is what we should be talking about. We should be talking about what can we do to create the digital footprint that allows this art, whether it be games, movies, television, to continue to be accessible to everybody at all times. And yes, I will even put on there if you purchase the license for it. But there needs to be something out there, because right now it's all up to the people in charge that own the servers, and that means we run the risk of losing all of these shows, all of these games, all of these music that should belong to us. And I hate to say that because it makes me sound a little pretentious, but I adore the art that I love, and I want to always be surrounded by that art because this world can be so dark sometimes. And being able to pick up a song that I love, or watch a movie that I love, or a TV show, or replay an old game that I grew up with means a lot to me while so much of the world is burning down around me.
Well, let's, in order to, I think we can end this on a slightly hopeful note. Can you guys give a practical, like if somebody was asking, okay, well, how do I preserve, or where do I even begin, or what do you do? Can you guys give like one piece of advice or suggestion or software or whatever that you particularly do in your own life? I can start. Okay. For
Yeah.
example,
You go ahead.
I
and
bought
start.
a licensed piece of software, MKV, the official whatever MKV software. Now, of course, the issue is technically once you do that to a DVD or a Blu-ray or whatever, you've broken their digital rights.
Right.
But again, I bought that movie, and there's no like functioning players outside of my internal that I made an external disk drive, and I want to watch this movie anytime and anywhere I want. Sure. So I literally rip it and I put it on my server. And so now not only do I have it, but you guys can share it. And
So
it's there.
so to that point, I can definitely say that as somebody who only recently got into the world of Plex with my friends, who have all been doing it for decades, I don't even have my own server at this point. Man, having a Plex server is fucking great.
Yeah.
If there's a piece of media that I don't know where to watch it, occasionally I can message my friends and be like, hey, can you find this for me? That has actually told me a lot, especially because they hang on to they're very close, they're very good friends in the pirate community. So if I ask for something and it doesn't show up, I'll give an example actually. There is this really horrible show that was based on Vampire the Masquerade in the 90s called Kindred the Embraced. And you can find it on YouTube. It's only like 10 episodes. And I tried to get one of our friends to try and find me a DVD rip of it because like there was a DVD of it. And it just doesn't exist. Somebody would need to go and find that DVD and then rip it because nobody has and put it online. And it sucks because the YouTube quality of the Kindred the Embrace kind of shitty, and it's a shitty show, but it's also a shitty show that I grew up with, and I wanted to rewatch it.
Hey,
and so
similar case. One year for my birthday, I think I was like 33. I just decided, fuck it, I'm going to buy the entire short journal DVD because they used to release DVDs like monthly for this series of short films. And it's an awesome collection with incredible short films. And so one birthday, I just bought every fucking DVD they ever released. And then, it sat on my shelf and I watch them occasionally. But then I heard words like, oh, disc rot. Specifically, the ones manufactured by Warner Brothers, specifically with this little like flip open clamshell kind of thing. And I was like, oh shit. And so I dusted off my disk drive and I ripped every single one of them. And I have shorts that have technically never been released in any other format, So again, my recommendation, if you're out there, get a disk drive and start doing the Lord's work.
All I can tell you is that if I really, really like certain music speaks to you in a specific way, and James, like you were saying earlier, sometimes you just wanted to be surrounded with the art that you love in a dark time. And for me, like when I sit down to watch a movie, it's usually kind of an academic thing for me. Like I want to get to know this movie. I want to, understand it. But music moves me in a very different way. So if there's music that I know that I'm going to need at some point to feel better, and I don't, one day I might not be able to afford Spotify Premium. And I know that if I tried to put on that song and I got like an ad first, I might jump out a window. I buy it on vinyl. That's what I do to preserve the stuff that I really, really need. It's not always an option. Not all music is on vinyl. but I get what I can and I take it where I can. They're very easy to preserve. You just keep the fucking dust off of them. You put them back in their sleeve, keep them on a shelf at an even temperature. It's not forever, but it'll last, 100 years.
You
That's
wouldn't buy the CD?
no.
Huh.
You know how simple a vinyl player is compared to a CD? In the apocalypse, you will have vinyl players. You will not have CD players. They're just straight up. I'd rather have a digital file than I would a CD because a CD is just a digital file.
Well, I'm saying like that's kind of weirdly why sorry, XY question. You don't just want to buy the CD and rip it?
No, I
have,
already,
like,
I already
full-on
have the
wave,
digital
FLAC,
file
whatever?
for any piece of music I ever wanted in my entire life. I've got the digital file.
Okay.
It was either free or I got it off Spotify or I got it from somewhere.
But like it's downloaded?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll keep whatever I want on a hard drive, sure. But I have had countless hard drives with hundreds of gigs of MP3s on them that those hard drives are gone and I don't care about them anymore. I'm talking about the stuff that like I really really like need to keep and cherish and hold close. That stuff I have on vinyl.
I mean, I definitely have some pieces of media that I do have on my list that I own personally that I want to get around to ripping that I don't know if it's even really available online. One of my favorite J-rock bands growing up was X Japan, and I found X Japan long after the lead singer had already died. But I managed to get a DVD of what was called X Japan Best. And it was just a series of their live concerts, the best of their live concerts on a DVD. I have this one really weird, I don't even know how to describe it, Japanese pseudo-horror film that, to my knowledge, nobody else in the world but me has fucking seen. And I own the DVD of it, and I want to rip that at some point because I want to show it to more people, but I also don't want to hand out my disc to anybody because
Yeah.
I'm afraid of never getting it back.
Hard no.
But to those things, I think what we're all getting around to here is that media preservation is important, and that yes, we talk about piracy because piracy is the way that we currently keep things alive. That being said, to be the capitalist of in the room, which I fucking never want to do. I feel gross even saying those words. But the more that companies make these things accessible to us and provide us a way to permanently own things, the more willing people will be to purchase those things. And I know that's a weird statement, but I want to take you back to the very first days of Apple Music launching. And everybody in the music industry looked at Apple Music and said, so you're going to charge $1 a song and they can pick whatever song they want. They don't have to buy a full album. This is never going to work. This particular model is going to fail instantly. And the moment that Apple Music was released and people realized they could buy and pick the songs that they wanted and then maybe buy the album at a discount, everybody was buying music again.
Wait, I thought they had to wait 5 years and then ask Steve Jobs again if he thought the Apple iPhone was going to be profitable and iTunes was going
No, nobody cared.
it happened right away?
They just really wanted to just put U2's music in your iPhone.
That's weird.
It did take time. It was not an overnight sensation. You're absolutely right.
No, I'm deadly serious. It was an overnight fucking sensation.
It was,
from the
yeah.
day it fucking happened.
Yeah,
I'm mocking AI right now where they're like, we're like 5 years into it. They're like, so how do you think you'll make money? It'll tell us eventually.
Yeah. The AI will tell us how we'll make money off of it. Don't you worry. For
Apple, like it was like, when I found out, remember at the time, our options were basically CDs or going on Napster.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was it. And
Right.
Napster was the thing that was reportedly taking down the music industry.
Right. Yeah, no, we lived in a world where kids walked around with Discmans and took them to high school. And if you were an adult with one of those, you were looked at like an idiot. But if you wanted to listen to music on the go, you needed that and something to carry all your CDs in. Unless you're just listening to one CD, 10 to 14 songs over and over again all fucking day. And anyone who owned an Apple computer had iTunes for free, and when they said, "Hey, we have a device for you. If you throw your CD, any CDs you have, just right into the disk drive in your computer, we'll put them on this little thing you can carry in your pocket." And how many CDs does it hold? Does it hold like 3 or 4? Thousands. Thousands. That's my whole collection. Yeah, and then some. You should buy more music from us.
Yep. So preservation is the key. When I titled the episode this whole physical media thing, it was really to open up the conversation to assure people that, hey, physical media going away isn't necessarily a bad thing. What we should be focusing on is preservation and making sure that the media that we love gets to be carried on to another generation. So that is everything that we have for the boss room. But hey, we're not done with the show yet. Stick with us as we get into what we've been doing in the epilogue.
Pause.
Yeah, the whole idea of AI is propped up by the stock market at this point.
Oh, God.
I don't think there's a living, breathing human being that isn't invested with most of their portfolio into this who's going, oh, yeah, this is going to work out.
Right.
Yeah, nobody. The state of New York has a moratorium on building data centers now.
Good.
And they said they will not lift that moratorium until a bunch of studies are done on the impacts of having data centers nearby. Those studies are not going to paint those data centers in a very
Didn't
good
Facebook
light.
just poison a whole town?
Yeah, they did. Meta poisoned an entire town.
Jesus.
Entire town.
Wow, that's like one of the first things they've done in a long time.
Yeah, they, man.
Maybe they're getting excited, ready to break things.
Oh, jeez.
Move fast and break things, right?
Move fast and poison people.
Yeah, well, it's a different angle.
Yeah.
It's the first hypergrowth the whole industry has seen in like 20 years.
You know, yeah. Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
All right, we are
we
are
back?
rolling.
All right, let's do it.
Epilogue.
Hey everyone, welcome to the epilogue. It's time to dive into what we've been up to this week, what we've been playing, what we've been watching, what has been occupying our free time, and more specifically, what has been making us happy. John, what you got for me?
Well, as you guys know, I have been making my way through Sony in Philadelphia, and I finally got to seasons that I have never seen before. And I finally saw the coming out to his father episode.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, the dancing. And here's the thing. Like 5 years ago or a few years ago when it came out, I literally watched wisecrack videos breaking it down. So not only was I familiar with the concept of it, I was familiar with every single bit of like that narrative. And so I watched it thinking, oh, okay, like I know what goes down. And I still, even knowing everything, even all spoilers included, I cried like hard. It just was fucking beautiful. And I've never been hit like that where nothing was a surprise. Not even the dance moves were a surprise because I had seen clips of them. And it still just rocked me. It was it was incredible.
It's a powerful thing.
So, yeah. And then I watched the season following that, and I'm beginning to fear they're running out of ideas. They even straight up did a moonlighting noir black and white episode.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a very fascinating show. It's definitely not a show that if you had asked me 10 years ago, would you be into this? I'd be like, no, just conceptually, I don't like it. I mean, it is basically the exact same fucking premise as Seinfeld, which is just horrible people going about their daily lives. And if you don't believe that's the concept of Seinfeld, Seinfeld has literally said that.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just a modern version of that. They're just even trashier.
yeah.
And it is a show that I will pick up every once in a while and like watch a season of. I find it a difficult show to watch because there's a lot of awkward humor in it, and comedy about people being awkward makes me feel awkward, and I don't always love that.
Secondhand cringe.
Yeah,
Can't do it.
Yeah, it can be really tough. But I do try and give the show an honest shot just because, look, man, the show has won Emmys for a reason. Like, it is a very intelligent show regardless of how stupid it presents
And
itself.
my favorite moments of it are when they're my favorite moments of any comedy is when they get extra weird. Like when they go down those, not even just cringe or awkward rabbit holes, but those strange, like dramatic rabbit holes, like Frank recalling being abused in a mental institution when he's a kid. And even though the subject and the characters he's describing are hilarious, like he was in love with a frog girl and she died from a plastic bag, but he's Danny fucking Oscar nominated DeVito giving it his all. And I'm like, God damn, like that's, to me, that's what makes the shows. Those awkward moments where they take it too seriously.
Yep. I love that. Anything else?
Trim it down. I've been making my way. I've dropped
Walking
about
fast?
a pound a week or so.
Nice. Good job.
It's coming together.
Well, we've got at least one thing that we've all been doing together. We can save that for last. Hector, what are you up to?
I'm going to try and pull this off. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? I have played about 40 hours of Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced.
So
By
you're not
God.
talking about the world's first quadruple A game?
No,
Wow.
absolutely not. That is something Ubisoft says when they are deep in the shit, like they were with the game they tried to make a spin-off of this game. And they tried for about 6 years, and when it launched, everyone went, what the fuck is this? And didn't play it ever again. What they should have just done is made this game, which somebody smart was like, let's just do that. And then they did. And I'm playing it again, and it's wonderful. This is the best Assassin's Creed game that has come out since the last time they released this exact fucking game.
Even with them censoring all the titties?
Yes, because they were nary a titty to speak
Hold
of.
on. Were they censored or
no,
modified?
No, it was censored because
Oh,
I
because
saw.
you all are talking about two different things.
Oh.
'Cause I heard,
They changed Anne Bonny's dress to make her look like a human being.
but I heard the
One,
ship.
There
was
is
topless.
a ship with a replaceable like gargoyle on the front, and before it had titties,
Right.
and now it has, I don't know, like a fucking hand bra from like a
I
kraken
legitimately don't
coming
care
out
about this.
behind
I'm
it.
just making fun of
No,
incels.
it is the silliest thing in the world. And yeah, there's been a lot of like hard coat from incels or woke people who are just, or non-wokes who are trying to find anything at all to be mad about. The fucking Star Wars, the Starfield guy, I'm sure, is just falling over himself to try and find a way that this is woke somehow. She looks better in the new one. What the fuck is wrong with everybody?
I'm having trouble discerning which one is.
Which should tell you even more about what's going on.
But I assume the bright, slightly more detailed one on top is the new one.
Right, the one
Okay.
with shadows that look like they're in real life and not in a PS3 game.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly that. So it's just a wonderful fucking game. It is paced so perfectly as just kind of a, hey, do you want to just be a pirate? You can just go be a pirate. Do you want to follow the story and follow the clues? We got that. Do you want to do a bunch of combat? We got that. Do you want to hunt down every sea shanty in the 7 fucking seas? Let's do that. It's a Caribbean. I've been to Florida. I've been to Charlestown. I sailed all the way everywhere and back again. I'm probably about 2/3 of the way through the game at this point. And there's nothing else that I want to be doing right now, video game wise. It's so much fun. There's a bunch of other controversies. Weirdly, Ubisoft has taken their cues for the DLC from this game from Capcom. So what I mean by that is you have all of this extra shit, skins, the ability to bypass collecting things, a ton of money just straight into your bank account. It's like buying red orbs in Devil May Cry 5. It's there. You can do it.
So dumb.
I think you're insane if you do it, but the option's there. So they can say on a spreadsheet, hey, we did this, investors be happy. There's another $80 worth of DLC on top of just the base price of the game. And if anyone buys it, I would also like to sell you things. I have this bridge. It's bridge. Yeah, I'll sell it to you. Please contact me. It's nonsense. But Aside from completely ignorable shit, I have no faults with this game. It looks incredible, looks better than a lot of modern games, runs like a dream on my now nearly 4 to 5 year old video card. And it's a high end video card when I bought it, but still, it's been a long time. Um, yeah, they updated a lot of the voice acting, a lot of the stuff going on. I physically the other day recognized a character who walked on screen. I was like, "That's Troy Baker." Holy shit! I didn't know that was Troy Baker the first time I played this. But it's because in this version he fucking looks like Troy Baker. Stuff like that. All the stuff they've added that wasn't in the original that I've played so far has been fantastic. Perfectly in tone with the game, perfectly in keeping with everything. One of the best missions that I've played so far has been something that happens to your character Kenway after the death of Charles Vane. Just wonderful fucking stuff. They're really putting the emphasis on what the original game was about the pirates, not booty and plunder and robbery, but about the ability to live free without a monarchy hanging over you before we had an America. These is the early 1700s, 1716, 1717, 1718. And a bunch of these guys went out there because, yeah, there might be money, there might be fortune and glory, but mostly there's just, I can live on this island paradise and not be bothered by cops.
The
That
dream, honestly.
was the dream. And there we are. And you know what? It feels good to play around in this fantasy world where when the cops do show up, you just get in your boat and you go to the next island.
I did hear there was no ice back then.
There was no, there were ice, but then the assassins showed up and they took care of ice. That is not a metaphor for anything in real life whatsoever. I'll stop now.
All right. Got a few things to talk about here. I'm going to save the one for all of the big conversation for all of us to the end. So I'm going to intro this with last week I said that I was working my way through Resident Evil 2 to get ready for Resident Evil 9. Since then, I have been playing Resident Evil 9 for the last 2 weeks, because it's been 2 weeks since our last episode. I have played through Resident Evil 9 2.5 times. I'm about to hit my third playthrough of 4. I'm going to be playing it 4 times to get all the achievements. I am not an achievement hunter in games.
So you're not just forgetting what goes on each time you play it?
No. Not
okay.
Not whatsoever. I have been, in fact, in my downtime where I haven't been playing Resident Evil and at work doing at-work things, having Resident Evil 9 lore videos on my other screen. So I have been doing nothing but obsessed over Resident Evil 9 for the last week. And it's been fantastic. And it's such a good game. And the fact that this game, it's magical. The way that it, like, if you play this game for the first time, there's a guide at the very beginning that says, like, hey, you should play this person as first person and this person as third person. You don't have to. You can switch it at any time. But we recommend for you to play it this way. You should play it that way. Because Grace is our new character. She's an FBI agent that's investigating something that's going on. And she's in first person. She is very powerless for a lot of the game. You do not kill zombies very often as Grace at the beginning of the game. She is mostly that PT kind of scenario that is like running, climbing, hiding, going through things. And then like every... after a few hours of you running and being scared and doing all these things, suddenly the fucking John Cena theme plays and Leon kicks the door open and he's like, all right, bitches, go time. And then you
Kool-Aid man through the wall.
you just fucking play
I'm
Leon
a bad man.
gunning down fucking zombies for about a good 30 minutes till you get that out of your system. And then it's like, hey, back to Grace. Time to fucking clench your butthole again for a little bit. And the pacing of it works so good. And they go back to Raccoon City, and I don't want to spoil it, and I want to talk about it, so I'm going to wait till Hector plays it, because I want to talk about it on the show. But it does this thing where they go back to an old location in the earlier Resident Evil games, and it manages to not feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it was stroking old gamers' egos. This was a natural progression of a moment in time in the Resident Evil universe that was so beloved. And then basically, much in the way that I'm going to get so many people mad at me right now, much in the way that The Last Jedi said, hey, the past is behind us now. We have to focus on the future. Fucking Resident Evil 9 does it. And I'm like, it does it so good.
Good.
Does it so fucking good.
Because it actually commits to it, and they didn't
It
just sneak all the books
fucking-
onto the
And then
ship.
Palpatine never
like
comes
bitches.
back.
I don't want to spoil it, but it does go through some of the greatest hits of Resident Evil. But also at the very end of it, it goes, cool. I'm glad you guys had a good time with the greatest hits. We are not doing that going forward. So say goodbye to these things because we got to get ready for these things. I love it. There's a reason why I'm on my third of 4 playthroughs in one of the few games that I've committed to wanting to get all the achievements on, because the achievements are accessible, they are fun. You get to unlock things like unlimited ammo given your playthroughs. It's so good. It might be the best Resident Evil we have had in a long time, and I loved 7 and 8, and this might just fucking blow them out the water. All right, so we got a couple more things that I want to talk about just for what I've been doing. So I'm going to talk about one for Hector and I. Hector, you and I watched a movie this week called Is God Is. Can you talk about this movie for audience?
What a fantastic fucking film. We have a movie that was only just recently in theaters. A movie that was not only a former play.
Oh yeah, this looks fucking harsh. I've seen this trailer.
It's
Yeah.
actually not as harsh as you think it is.
So just to keep just to keep it 100 with y'all, this is I don't know if I would call it a dark comedy. There are definitely a lot of moments of levity. Obviously, you have Vivica A. Fox as God, aka Mom, but you have the story, a very, very dark story, of a couple of daughters who never knew their mother. They're twins, and they've always been together, raised in foster homes, out on their own, living their lives, doing everything together. They eat breakfast together. They brush their teeth together. They pee together. They finish each other's sentences. They can read each other's minds. They talk without talking. And suddenly, one day in their 30s, they get a letter from their mother, aka God, to come and talk to them. Now, the thing is, she tells them why they have the burn scars that they have. One of them scarred up and down her left arm. The other one scarred all over her face. With the less scarred one usually being the protector of the more scarred one because of life and because children will call her sister ugly, so she'll beat them with a baseball bat, stuff like that. Such a wonderful movie. What I was saying earlier is this was a play written and directed by Alicia Harris and then became a movie written and directed by Alicia Harris. This is a kind of run you never see. This is an incredible fucking talent going on. A movie that I could not recommend more highly, that just gives you everything you want if you're into movies like this. It can be very, very violent. There can be a lot of rage, but it can also be very fun and very heartfelt and very real about family relationships, about trauma.
I was damn near cheering at the end of this movie. So
about having abusive family members, and how you deal and process that kind of fucking bullshit in your life. I couldn't be happier with it. Can't recommend it enough. What a fucking movie.
From my side of things, like when I was doing my Letterboxd review, I called it a Southern Gothic dark comedy. And that was me just trying to put it in some kind of a box, but it really transcends a lot of those things. One of the things that I wish, and it was in the trailer that we just showed, I wish that they hadn't advertised that Sterling K. Brown was the big bad.
Yeah, they hide his face for the entire movie.
Because they do. They hide his face for the entire movie. Yeah. And I, when I very first saw Sterling K. Brown, I knew him from, watching the show This Is Us. And the fact that this man, who's so brilliant, has been taking on so many darker, more weird, fucked up roles, and him playing the bad guy in is just absolutely a testament to what a great actor he is. And I mean, like, what a fantastic time for black cinema, because like we just talked about last week, we just talked about I Love Boosters.
That's right.
2 for 2. Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, yeah, incredible movies. Speaking of, it's been a bit of a week for fire and burn based family trauma, considering we also watched Evil Dead Burn.
Oh, I forgot. We did watch Evil Dead Burn.
Yeah, and that is a movie about burning and about domestic
Family trauma?
violence and family trauma.
2 for
wow.
2.
Yeah, that's a double feature right there. If you
Yeah.
can watch both, I suggest you do it all at once and get all get all the demons out of your system.
Yeah.
So what
So let's
number Evil Dead is this? Oh,
let's.
am I-
I'm gonna. We will get into that.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna do this because I love this series. So there's a really great graphic. I wish I had given it to you in advance. That where the Evil Dead branch is, and so there's the Evil Dead at the very top of the branch, and then on the right side it goes to Evil Dead 2, and then Army of Darkness. That's what that branch of the tree is. And then we have the second branch of the tree, which is the original Evil Dead movie. Then it's Evil Dead 2013, then Evil Dead Rise, and then Evil Dead Burn. So we have the funny chapter and the dark chapter.
Yeah.
This is the dark chapter. And this is a direct relation to Evil Dead 2013. In fact, there are many references to Evil Dead 2013. By the way, and I know everybody is going to be so mad at me for saying this, Evil Dead 2013 is my favorite Evil Dead movie.
What?
And man, Evil Dead Burn is good, but I will say it is heavy.
Super heavy.
Like, even more so than Rise, it is heavy. There are discussions of domestic violence that are in this movie. You know, so many movies about family are about family and found family. This is about how family will try and fucking kill you.
Yeah. And they do so much amazing cinematography in this movie.
Yeah.
Like you could call it a camera trick, but it's just fucking creative, man. A lot
The
of the time.
camera is one of the characters in this movie.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it is working its ass off.
Yeah. It is so good. I will say though, just because I know that I'm giving this like the highest of recommendations. If you are an animal person and do not like seeing dogs hurt, maybe this might not be for you, because
Yeah.
there is at least
Or,
two scenes.
or look up when it is and close your eyes.
Yeah.
or
There's at
something,
least 2
'cause-
scenes of a dog being hurt, and I just want to put that out there for everybody.
Yep.
But yeah, Evil Dead Burn. Wow, I had feelings about it, man. Okay, that will get us to our final thing that we've all been doing and what's been making us happy this week. John, why don't you lead us off, because you know you've been the one working on the series for a while.
I have. I've been overworking on it. I recently had re-picked up the pre-sequel to play in true Vault Hunter mode. And for the record, out of all the Borderlands, I would say that one is not only my favorite, but I think it's also the hardest. It's the one,
Definitely the best. If I were gonna say.
like, you got to earn every inch of progression in that game. But so we, as a group, plus Ross, have been playing Borderlands 4, and I've been very excited about this because I don't online play with others ever. So this has been fun to, like,
This is our first time playing a game together.
yeah,
Yeah.
to just be in the rhythm of other people. And you guys were right. Ross totally alleviated any of my fears about taking my time searching for loot or doing the
Yeah.
stuff.
He'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. How have you guys been doing with it?
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I wish Randy Pitchford wasn't a giant piece of
Huh.
shit and released a game that like ran well.
God,
but-
it runs so shit.
Like the system you guys built for me, I have to nerf. Like everything.
None
this-
of us are playing above medium setting.
Dear
Yeah.
listeners, the system that John owns, Hector and I had custom built for him when we were all working together.
Yeah, we
And,
built
like,
it for him to edit video on. It's got like a 4080 in there. It's got
It's
all the RAM.
128 gigs of RAM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a beast of a system. Mine and Hector's system put together does not equal what fucking John has.
Yep.
And John's having performance issues playing this fucking game.
Yeah, they tried to program it in UE5 and they tried to make it one giant open continuous world, and they don't have the streaming technology, and it's just not working for them. I mean, I love what Gearbox used to be because it used to be a hallmark of quality, but Randy Pitchford's a giant piece of shit, so it's not anymore. And that being said, aside from the technology woes, I'm having a good time with the game. I have some really creative guns right now that are making every fight I get into kind of a fun little thing for me to choose.
Don't one of us have a gun that just shoots other guns?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I have a shotgun that leaves a trail of pellets in the air that other people can run into by accident. I have a gun called Bonnie and Clyde that can transform back and forth between an assault rifle and a shotgun. And that, if you do that between kills, it also reloads your gun.
Huh.
So basically, kill a guy with one gun, swap to the other gun, kill a guy with that gun, and you never have to reload it.
It does.
It's so much fun.
I think Ross pointed out that it does kind of beg the question of like, what do gun categories even mean anymore?
Oh, not in Borderlands.
none
Because like
whatsoever.
one of my guns can turn into a flamethrower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, playing Borderlands has never for me been about the game itself, much like Gears of War. I enjoy the wrapping of Borderlands. I think that it's funny. It can be witty at times. There's some great puns that we've come across while we're playing it. That being said, I mean, I'm given how horribly this game performs on my system, and like I've got a 3080 with like 64 gigs of RAM in here.
Yeah.
Like it's just having some issues.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that I was playing it with friends, I would have fucking quit this game in like 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
It doesn't, like, the humor in
I don't think
Borderlands is fun, but it's not enough
I
to
don't
carry
think it
me.
scratches James's particular tisms.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
just-
they pushed this one far enough because they were so scared of the backlash they got for
I have
Borderlands
never
3.
really enjoyed Borderlands as a solo experience. It has always been like Gears of War 1, where I'm playing it with my friends and I have a good time, and then afterwards I put it down and I never think about that game ever again.
To be completely fair, I've never once played a Borderlands game by myself.
Really?
Never
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Never had any desire
To
to.
me,
at
it
any
was
point.
if someone designs a game for co-op, that's the only way I ever want to play it. It's the
Wow.
only way I've ever played Gears of War. Also,
Yep. Like Gears of War used to be a tradition with my
it's the only way I've ever played Halo.
yeah, my good friend Happy Mike in Houston. Our whole thing was a new Gears of War game would come out, and we would go over to each other's place, and we would do like sake weekend, where we would just drink a fuck ton of sake, and the two of us would just play Gears of War together and insult each other in the way that 20-year-olds do. That's
How
probably
many
not
people
acceptable.
can play Gears of War?
Four?
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
always been 4.
Yeah.
That's why there are 4 Vault Hunters in every game.
Because I would love to play some Gears of War.
Gears of War is
'cause
fun. It's fine.
I only ever played it for a couple hours with a friend a long time ago.
Yeah, it's the only way to play it. If you pick it, I think there's a couple versions available on Steam. In fact, I believe they're about to like super re-release one.
Yeah, they're about to do the whole re-release
And like
thing.
I'd love to play that with y'all. That'd be great.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So,
But,
so how are you guys feeling about the gameplay, some of the mechanics, the upgrades?
Yeah, like I said, it's been interesting what they've added and also what they've taken away. Them not having rocket launchers as a category of weapon, but relegating them to where your grenade goes.
Yeah, either a grenade or a rocket launcher.
Yeah, has been really interesting, and I get that they a little bit serve the same function, and also some of the grenades I picked up might as well be rocket launchers.
Yeah.
I love the jetpack.
Yeah, the jetpack is the movement tech that they
Okay.
added is fantastic.
You know what? I do have one comment about it, and this might be a little bit controversial, and I don't want to go on for too long about this because we need to wrap up the show. But there are a lot of aspects to Borderlands 4 that I do not like, and I'm just going to say it. It's the aspects that feel like I'm playing fucking Destiny.
Oh.
Oh yeah, the menus.
It's the open world of it. The towns are so far apart. There's not enough vending machines. The summoning of your vehicle is basically just the Destiny summoning. It's like Randy Pitchford was just like, so let's just do Destiny, but not quite get there yet. There are world bosses where we will be fighting, and then suddenly 20 other Vault Hunters show up and fight the boss with us. But it feels like fucking Destiny.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, Destiny was probably a little bit based on Borderlands when it came out.
Then that's where I'm at on it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So again, like you were saying, like the movement tech, I love that they put in a butt slam, even though
Yeah.
that hasn't been in any of them except for the pre-sequel. I love that, what they've done with the guns is like, yeah, here's a shotgun, but also sometimes it's a rocket launcher.
Well,
Yeah,
they did,
here's a rocket
for the
launcher.
record, they did have the butt slam in Borderlands 3, but you had to equip it, and you could only do it if you were jumping up from something else. Like, you couldn't just standing jump and do it.
Gotcha.
So I'm glad they added that.
Yeah. They added a thing where, like, if you have a favorite kind of gun, if you get a mod, it'll modify all of those types of
Yeah.
guns. And to include, you also still have a class mod that'll just give you some more points in your skill tree for whatever skill you're using.
And I will say, they've been rather generous about just having your skill kind of almost whenever you want it.
Yeah, like whatever skill you want, you can use. You can modify your tech tree at just about any time.
It's not that, like, 30 seconds and then wait 5 minutes thing.
Why am I the only white person on our team and I'm playing the Hispanic character? I'm not.
That's a good question.
I don't
James.
understand half the things my character is saying.
I have a question, real quick, James, for you. This is completely hypothetical. It's not. It's based on a bad movie. You saw the Ghost in the Shell movie with Scarlett Johansson, right?
I did, yes.
So the plot line at the end of that movie is that Scarlett Johansson is the shell, and the person inside, the ghost, is Japanese.
Right.
Is she
They saying-
Japanese or is she the
They
shell?
saying deep down inside, we all want to be Japanese.
What I'm saying is, is your ghost Mexican?
I mean,
is your shell certainly isn't.
It's
don't know, I'm-
possible, considering the amount of Mexican food I consume on a daily basis.
And
I would
I'm
assume
definitely
so.
what my wife calls a coconut. Of course, you are too, kind of, Hector. I've seen you not understand so much Spanish.
Oh no, my Spanish is.
But like we've been in the middle of
border.
Borderlands and my character will say something and I'm like, guys, the subtitles aren't translating that. What is he saying?
Yeah, we try our best, man. My Spanish has been bad my whole life.
No habla español.
All right, but that's Borderlands 4. We're all having a good time. I'm sure that we're going to talk about that some more. And that's everything that we have for the show this week. We hope you had a good time. I know there was a lot of really serious issues that we talked about, but we tried to have fun with it. So don't forget that you can head over to patreon.com/GNGGcast to become a patron of our show. You can head over to facebook.com/GNGGcast where you can chat with us, as well as at GNGGcast on Twitter. But until next time, for Hector, this is James.
For James, this is Hector.
For you, this is me.
Everyone, good night.
And Yar.
Bam, we did it. All right,
Hi, Katie. Thank you for joining
Katie,
us.
Yeah,
Hello, Katie,
absolutely.
and thank you.
Yeah, I grew up in the Rio Grande Valley, so I'm absolutely an Osama's kid. That's just what happens. My mom sent me to private school. What do you want from me? No one there spoke Spanish either.
There you go. All right. Thank you guys so much. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate everybody
Thanks,
stopping
y'all.
by.
ending the
Have a good night.
stream.